地震です。地震です。地震です。地震です。
よかったよかった。A powerful earthquake has torn through southern Japan, and the death toll is still climbing. On Tuesday afternoon, a massive tremor slammed into the Kumamoto region of Kyushu Island, an area that hasn't felt shaking this violent in nearly a decade. Japan's meteorological agency clocked it at magnitude 7.1, though the US Geological Survey later revised that down to 6.8. Either way, it was a shallow quake, striking just 10 kilometers down, and shallow quakes hit hardest on the surface. The epicenter sat near Uki, roughly 20 kilometers south of Kumamoto City, home to nearly 700,000 people. The shaking hit at 4:30 in the afternoon. Shelves toppled, equipment crashed down, and roads split open across the prefecture.
やばい。え？やばい。
よかったよかった。But the moment that stopped everyone in their tracks came from Kashima, where an explosion ripped through the second floor of the Aeon Mall shopping center, and the floor above it partially caved in. Firefighters described shoppers and staff trapped under debris with thick white smoke pouring from the wreckage. Somewhere between 20 and 30 mall employees couldn't be reached for hours afterward. And now the numbers are grim. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has confirmed at least 13 people have died, with more than 100 others injured and rescue crews still digging.
Lord! Wow, forget. Wait. Whoa.
めて。うわ、ここがすごいわ。びしゃびしゃ。
It wasn't just the mall. At the Nippon Paper Industries plant in Yatsushiro, an industrial chimney buckled and came down, and several workers there remain unaccounted for. Across Kumamoto Prefecture, at least 12 buildings collapsed outright, with 4 sites confirmed to still have people trapped inside. A section of the historic stone walls surrounding Kumamoto Castle, a 17th century landmark, crumbled once again. Infrastructure took a beating too.
Kumamoto 城すぐそばの石垣も崩れて
Footage showed a stretch of the Kyushu Expressway split apart. Bullet trains and local rail were suspended for emergency checks, leaving passengers crowding platforms at stations like Hakata in Fukuoka. A cargo train reportedly derailed, and Aso Kumamoto Airport shut its runway entirely with no clear timeline for reopening. Hospitals were overwhelmed almost instantly. One facility in Yatsushiro took in about 40 patients. Another in Kumamoto City took roughly 50, several in serious condition, per Kyoto News. Staff scrambled to treat burns and fractures while dealing with their own power and water failures. A tsunami advisory also went into effect for the Ariake and Yatsushiro seas, pushing coastal residents toward higher ground. It was lifted within about 2 hours after monitoring stations picked up no dangerous wave activity, but for those 2 hours, an already terrifying day got worse. Here's the reassuring part. Japan's Nuclear Regulation Authority checked multiple nearby plants, including Sendai, and found no damage or safety concerns. The International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed operations there continued normally. Major manufacturers with plants in the region were watching closely too. TSMC, the world's largest contract chip maker, confirmed every employee at its Kumamoto facility was safe, with structural inspections already complete. Prime Minister Takaichi addressed the nation directly, confirming casualties, building collapses, fires, and road damage, while cautioning the full scope was still coming into focus. She urged residents to stay alert, warning that another quake of similar strength could still be coming. That warning isn't idle. Aftershocks have kept rattling Kyushu, including one measuring magnitude 4.1 just after midnight, on top of earlier ones in the 5 and 6 range. This isn't Kumamoto's first brush with catastrophe. Back in 2016, a brutal sequence of quakes tore through this same region within days of each other, killing close to 275 people, injuring thousands, and damaging over 200,000 homes. It remains one of the costliest disasters in modern Japanese history. And a decade later, some of that scarring, like the castle walls, still hadn't fully healed when Tuesday's quake hit. None of this is surprising geologically. Japan sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where multiple tectonic plates grind against each other, and close to 20% of the planet's magnitude 6+ earthquakes happen somewhere in Japan.
地震です。地震です。
Since the catastrophic 2011 quake and tsunami that triggered the Fukushima meltdown and killed nearly 20,000 people, Japan has poured resources into early warning systems, and experts say that's likely part of why Tuesday's toll wasn't far higher. Roughly 3,600 military personnel and 20 aircraft have been mobilized for search, rescue, and aerial damage surveys. Teams are working around the clock at the collapsed mall and the wrecked paper factory, racing to reach anyone still trapped, and offers of international aid are already coming in. The full human and financial cost is still being counted. With the ground still trembling across Kyushu, officials say it could be days before anyone has real answers.